Hello everybody and welcome to your very first round of month ahead forecasts on my channel. I'm so excited to start something new. I'm in a new place. This is like a new filming studio, if you will, and I can't wait to kind of change up my offerings a little bit. And before we begin, I do want to tell you a little bit about that. First and foremost, my name is Yelena Crawford, so welcome back to anyone and everyone that was a previous subscriber. Thank you guys so much. And for anybody that hasn't met me yet, welcome. I'm very happy to have you here. And this is kind of what my channel is going to look like moving forward. So if you were not a previous subscriber, you don't need to worry about what it used to be, but I kind of have a little bit of a new content strategy. So I'm going to be getting rid of my weekly forecast completely, and I'm going to start the month couple days prior to each new month. I'm going to push out forecast videos, which are month ahead forecasts, which is what this is, for all 12 zodiac signs. So you guys can know ahead of time exactly what's happening. And if you weren't already aware, I do offer a written monthly forecast as well. And it's general. It's not by zodiac sign. It's basically all about the collective and the energies that are happening in the month ahead, which can really help you to have that written paper, right? So if you are interested in signing up for my free written cosmic guide, is what I call it, you can go to my website, yelenacrawford.com, and a little pop-up box will come up on the screen where you can enter your email address. But I promise not to spam. I don't really send a whole lot. I maybe inform you guys of new videos or any new offerings I might have or whatever, but that's pretty much it. And then on top of these monthly forecasts, what I plan to do is obviously full and new moon videos, you know, and horoscopes for those as they come along. But also I want to start breaking down significant transits throughout the month. So as the energies are kind of coming in and passing, I want to really dive in and hone in and talk about those as they come along so we can kind of follow the transits together. So I want to make this really interactive. I may end up doing a lot of lives for some of these things too, but I will definitely make sure to let you guys know ahead of time. And then another one of my offerings is on Instagram, and I've been really kind of amping that up, and I've been doing daily astrology updates. So if you guys really want to follow the astrology on a daily basis as you learn and as it helps you with your own life, then I would highly suggest adding me over at Yelena Crawford Astrology on Instagram as well. I'm going to have stories and daily posts so you guys can keep up to date with the astrology in many different ways. Also, this is a general forecast, and I want to make that very clear that yes, I'm breaking this down by your rising sign. So that kind of sets up the chart, and I'm able to kind of see some of the in and out energies and the different themes that might be brought into focus for you over the next month. But your individual birth chart is what gets activated by these transiting energies. And our birth charts are all completely different. So while this might be hitting somebody and really bringing out positive potential with some of these transits, it could also be really exacerbating a negative portion of someone else's chart. So just keep that in mind. And if you are someone who is maybe navigating big changes and you want to make more sense of it, then contact me for a personal reading. I would highly suggest getting a reading with me or whatever astrologer you deeply resonate with. You can also do that through my website, yelenacrawford.com. And yeah, I think that's pretty much all the announcements for right now. So let's get into the forecast. Hi Libra, I hope you guys don't mind the outfit change. I'm actually filming on an entirely different day, so hopefully it doesn't mess you up too much. But anyways, we're going to be talking all about the astrology of April 2022 and how it will specifically affect your rising sign. So I like to give just a little bit of a summary to kind of sum up maybe some of the themes and energies that you might be working with in the month ahead. And I think that the theme of partnership is very much tied in with the overall synopsis of the month, considering the full moon at the new moon at the very beginning of the month is happening in your 7th house of partnership. Now this can be love, platonic, business, whatever it might be, and it also may involve any types of contracts or negotiations that you may be involved with. And yes, for some of you, that may very well have to do with marriage, or it could have to do with where you're living, because the theme of home and family does come up a couple times within the dynamics of this month as well. There's also a significant emphasis on the money axis. Your money, your possessions, the things that you own, what you purchase, your relationship with money, as well as joint financial ventures, mortgages, debts, student loans for some people, and obviously the dreaded word taxes are definitely going to be coming up for a lot of people as well, being a little bit more significant for you per se. And I also believe that there's going to be some significant developments in the work sector for you, and there could be some mention of health, maybe physical exercise, fitness, nutrition, all of those kinds of things could definitely be coming to the forefront. So that's just a little synopsis, but now we're going to break it down even further. So Libra, the month starts off very, very significant for you. We have a new moon, which signifies new beginnings. Yes, on one hand, it is something we might be starting fresh. There could be little seeds that are being planted right now. You could have a desire or an opportunity that is just starting. And with every new moon energy, it's something that plays out over the course of a whole month where we might start to see some of that come to fruition at the month's end. But also they run in 6-month cycles, right? So whatever sign a new moon is in. So for this month, it's Libra. 6 months later, we will also have a full moon that is part of this same cycle. Okay, so in the fall, we'll have a full moon in Libra, and we'll really start to see some of the stuff that we planted or started working on really bud and blossom during that time or reach an ending of some sort. So keep in mind here, this is extra significant for you, especially considering the fact that it is on your axis of your 1st and 7th house. So it's you versus the other, right? This has a lot to do with partnership. For some of you, this could very well be dating and romance. Maybe a relationship is having a deep and profound healing effect on you. Maybe there is some healing that needs to be take place based off of a relationship that you were in prior. This new moon, and why I say that is because this new moon is with Chiron, the wounded healer. So Chiron is at a degree point that he's been at for quite a while. Been going back and forth over in retrograde and everything since last year. And Chiron's actually been working with you in the house of long-term partnership, intimate connections, joint finances, or joint financial ventures, any contracts or negotiations with business partners. It's been working with you on a very deep level in this sector of your chart since 2018. So what this means when Chiron's kind of marinating at the same degree right next to this full moon is that could be a significant development in your healing or a breakthrough moment, if you will. Maybe there's going to be a conversation had that has a healing effect or resolves some type of wounding or insecurity or something like that related to partnership. And this is really helping you to step more into being independent within a relationship. So that, I guess we could call interdependence. Because with that Libra energy, the Libra energy does tend to attract dependence. It relies on partnership a lot, which is okay because that helps you learn a lot about your personality. It helps you to grow and evolve. But you also want to try to still honor your needs, stand in your power and your truth. And if you need something or if you have something that needs to be said, not being afraid to speak it just because you're afraid of overwhelming the other person, creating a wound, hurting them, making them uncomfortable, or just rocking the boat, right? So there's this people-pleasing quality to all of this. Well, you could be having a significant breakthrough with this during this time, where maybe there is a little bit of a challenging situation that pops up at the beginning of the month, especially as we move towards April 4th, because there's going to be the Mars-Saturn conjunction in your 5th house of long-term partnership. Now, this is also the house of children, so this could be a matter surrounding the topic of children. This could be a business venture with one of your creative hobbies, talents, and abilities where maybe you are needing to speak up. You are needing to speak your truth. There is some type of profound healing that is taking place. It's making it maybe a little bit easier for you to do this, even though it could be uncomfortable, right? So whatever that might be for you, just keep note of that. And just know that you're okay to walk the path alone. You're okay to stand in your power. And whatever you do here, there could even be a relationship that maybe ends up having a significant healing effect on you in some way, shape, or form. Now, maybe this could be some type of development with spousal support or something like that. And the reason I say that is because we've got a lot of energy moving through the 8th house as well. So some of you could literally be dealing with joint custody battle, a joint custody battle, or maybe something dealing with child support, or just an arrangement in general with the children, or it's even maybe related to your relationship to your children in some way. So this can play out in a myriad of different ways, but ultimately there is a potential for healing here. One thing that really sticks out to me about this new moon, and then I'm going to move on, is that it's at new moon is when the sun and the moon are together in the chart in a certain sign. And both of these luminaries are at 11:11. And I don't over focus on the numbers, but when you see something like that, I think that it could be a significant awakening moment or a significant development on your path towards your purpose or towards some of the important lessons that you're meant to be learning in this lifetime. So anyways, I just think that's important to take note of that. Now, the dispositor, which is the ruler of this new moon, is Mars. And Mars is in a little bit of a challenging position. So after this new moon, we're kind of amping up a little bit more of a difficult circumstance that we're going to be passing through. Keep in mind, it is just temporary energy, so it's nothing we can't handle, right? But this is going to be taking place in your 5th house, but it's also associated with your 4th. And this is definitely, it could be related to children, living circumstances. This could be money related. There could be a battle of, let's see here. It's almost as if maybe there could be some confrontation or stop and go energy, wanting to move forward and make progress, but feeling like you've reached a wall or hit a wall of some sort. This could be related to maybe somebody that you meet. Maybe you're dating somebody. Maybe it is a matter that's pertaining to a child that's a little bit more difficult for you to navigate or move through. And it kind of makes the issues at home a little bit more volatile for a couple of days. There could literally be some type of confrontation, or you could legit be slowed down in terms of any of your creative projects, your talents and abilities and how you express them out in the world. Those could be slowed down a little bit during this time frame because maybe there are some other responsibilities or duties that you need to focus on more primarily at this time. But like I said, that's passing energy. So as we know or may not know, that Mars-Saturn conjunction that I was just talking about, it's actually squaring the nodes of fate. So this is a very fated turning point for you, Libra. Well, for all of us for that matter. But for you, it has a lot to do with you standing in your own personal power, valuing who you are, stepping into a more evolved version of self-worth, knowing what you want, what you value, what no longer serves you, what you won't allow anymore. But this also is very much related to money and finances and resources. So this is maybe working through a joint financial venture, working through something related to money that you owe other people, paying off debts and taxes. Maybe you are having challenges getting a mortgage for a home for you and your children, or selling a home or something like that. Or this could be very profound, deep healing, which can be a little bit more challenging, right? It can be about our obsessions and our compulsions and desires that really throw us off course and diving into the shadows. So for some of you, that Mars-Saturn energy in the 5th house of celebration and play could have you indulging too much. Sex, fun, alcohol, party, celebration, and there's some adjusting that really needs to be made here. What are you bound by in life regarding some of these topics? That's a good question to ask yourself right now. And what can you do to adjust it and make a change? All right. Enough of that for now. We're going to move on to a little further in the month. Right after this happens, literally the next day, April 5th, we do have a little bit of an ease in energy that happens. We're almost as if there's a little weight that's taken off from the stress, brings us a little bit of ease, lessens the tension a little bit. And this is about Venus. And Venus is your chart ruler, Libra. So this is really, really important and big for you. Venus is moving from that horrible dynamic with Mars and Saturn in Aquarius, and it's moving into your 6th house, which is all about work, coworkers, and the daily grind. So it has a lot to do with our habits on a daily basis, what kind of routine we have, what are we or aren't we doing to contribute to our physical health and well-being, working out, nutrition, all of those things comprise the 6th house topics. So when Venus moves in here and she breaks free from all of those planets in the 5th house that have been holding her back, restricting her, restraining her, and making you probably feel like you're stuck between a rock and a hard place, like you want to move forward, but you can't. And this may bring opportunity where you and your own personal magnetism really draws in an opportunity, maybe for work, where you can really flourish, something that you've maybe always dreamed of. It can almost seem too good to be true. And that's one thing I want to talk about as well, because we have this Jupiter-Neptune conjunction that's going to be taking place on April 12th as we progress throughout the month. And that can be a really amazing, miraculous, like spiritually driven energy, where it's all about our ideals and our visions and those things allowing us to actually move into them, expand into that. But one thing I want to make you aware of is that it can also appear almost too good to be true. With this going to be in an inconjunct, what's called an inconjunct to your ascendant for some of you. So if you have an ascendant that's anywhere between, I would say, 21 to 25 degrees of the Libra, so check your ascendant degree, then for some of you, it might be that whatever this opportunity is that you're envisioning or that's coming in for work or, you know, to reestablish your daily routines and everything, that there's something that's working at cross purposes or not supportive coming from you, coming from your own personality and the way that you interact with the world. So there's definitely maybe a little bit of an adjustment that needs to be made here in order to make this happen. But no worries. I mean, I think this is overall a really great energy. So like I said, this could really help be supportive of better habits on a daily basis. Maybe you're going to be eating better. Maybe this job is helping you pay off a debt of some sort. It could be profoundly healing for some of you on a physical level. Maybe you've been dealing with some sort of ailment, and you know, this could be really nice energy for maybe finding somebody that could help you heal in some way, shape, or form. So that is a really interesting dynamic that's taking place. And then with the Jupiter-Neptune conjunction on April 12th, Jupiter rules your 3rd house of the mind, our mental processes, the way that we communicate with other people, as well as skills that help us in the workplace. So maybe there's an opportunity here for you to learn, take a course or study something, gain a new skill, take a certification that will somehow help you with being of service to other people. This could be very spiritual in nature. So if you are anticipating or thinking about maybe doing something like that, or the opportunity shows up, I would say go for it. I think that it could be a really, really nice thing for you to do. So moving on from there, in the middle of the month, we do reach another little hiccup. We've got a pretty intense full moon, which is actually happening in your sign, Libra. So really, a lot of the spotlight is going to be on you at this point, and this could be a time where mini crisis comes in of some sort, just a passing crisis, nothing like existential or anything like that. Maybe for some of you, but for the most part, I think this is not going to be like that. But the spotlight is on you, who you are as a person. So something about you could be coming to fruition of some sort. Maybe you've been really working on yourself and you're starting to see the results of that. But with that, I believe that there's definitely going to be a process you need to go through of allowing something to purge still, allowing something to release or letting something go. There's still a significant transformation that needs to happen here because this full moon on your 1st and 7th house axis of you versus other people is squaring Pluto. So it's creating a T-square in the chart with Pluto. And Pluto can be quite a traumatic planet sometimes. It can bring up a lot of intensity, especially during a highly charged full moon. And this is in the house of home matters. So there could be some sort of significant trigger that's coming from maybe a parent or a situation with a home. Because I think for some of you, maybe there is like a move or a living situation that's going on here that could be a little bit more challenging during this time period. Maybe there's power struggles that are going on. There's like a battle of wills, if you will. It could have something to do with maybe a mortgage or trying to sell your home or something like that. Or it could just be literally because the fourth house has to do everything with our inner emotional world. So there's something that needs to be let go of here. Maybe it is your emotional ties to a family situation that's preventing you from truly transforming and moving forward in life. And something like this needs to be acknowledged, changed, completed, or something during this time. So just keep an eye out for that as the month progresses. This could also be related to health matters involving a family member of some sort. Excuse me. So sorry, I hope that wasn't too loud in the microphone. So it's just something to take into consideration. Now, as we progress, April 19th, it's Taurus season. So what that means is that the sun actually moves into the sign of Taurus, leaving your 7th house of long-term partnership, contracts, and negotiations, and entering the 8th house of joint financial ventures, debts, and our obligations, whether they be monetary or energetic, to other people, places, and things. This also has a lot to do with our own psychology. Some of the traumas we've experienced, the conditioning we've been raised on, and how that affects us psychologically. So there could be a light that's shined on some of your more shadowy qualities here, especially since this is an area that you're being asked to really dive into. That started in January of 2022, and that will be amping up significantly until the summer of 2023. This is where the North Node is transiting right now. So if you guys are somebody that has a North Node in Taurus, then you're having a nodal return, and this could be even more significant for you. So there could be some significant developments here related to joint financial ventures, maybe even after the sun was just moving through partnership. Maybe some of you are getting married. Maybe some of you are getting divorced. Maybe there's, like I said, issues with mortgage and selling a house. Maybe there's issues with children and child support arrangements and obligations, or whatever it might be. Maybe you really need to pay off debt, or tax issues are coming through in some way, shape, or form. This could also be shining a light on building things together as partners, right? Maybe building wealth or setting long-range goals for a savings that's joint, or maybe moving forward on your goals towards a joint financial venture of some sort. For some of you, this could honestly be you studying something relative to occult sciences. So this could literally be maybe you're doing something like that for work too, or you're using that to heal yourself, or somebody's helping you heal yourself with those types of modalities. And that can be anything from witchcraft to tarot cards to astrology to crystals, and anything that is in that realm, energy work, like anything like that for sure could be considered here. So this is also shining a light on your desire or your ability to be either one, desire, ability, sometimes impulse or obsession with intimacy. So that is also something to take into consideration here as well. So that's Taurus season. And we're going to talk a little bit more about Taurus season as we get to the eclipse at the end of the month, because starting right now in the middle, we are amping up towards eclipse season, which is a big deal. So just hold on that topic. I want to just bring to your focus that Mercury, starting on April 26th, near the end of the month, is entering what's called its shadow period. It's a pre-retrograde shadow period. And a lot of times, Mercury, the planet ruling over mind, communication, our thought processes, the way we learn, the way our mind works and understands things. And it's like a reworking of plans and details when we go through a Mercury retrograde period. So we're not in the retrograde this month. We don't want to go into this too much, but I just want you to be aware that wherever your mind starts to go at the end of the month could be much more significant for you starting about the second week of May. So keep an eye out, because sometimes these Mercury retrogrades set some of the circumstances up in our lives that we will later be reworking and moving through in our minds over and over again as Mercury passes over back and forth here. So this starts April 26th. Mercury enters shadow in Taurus, and it'll actually retrograde from Taurus to Gemini and back to Taurus and back to Gemini. Or move through its shadow and then back and forth. So this is in your 8th house of joint financial ventures, intimacy, all those things that I just mentioned. And then the 9th house, which has a lot to do with higher education and learning. So some of you could literally be learning, maybe going back over coursework, maybe structuring your plans for what you want to do with your future in terms of expanding your consciousness, who you are as a person. You could very literally be working through your own personal philosophies and belief systems, and how those have been shaped from traumas and situations growing up, and kind of working through that. And some of you very literally could be dealing with legal issues, because this is like court and law and lawyers and everything like that in the 9th house too. So just a couple different possibilities. This may also kind of get some people their gears turning about traveling. And these travels could have something to do with, we'll just leave it at that. Travel plans. Potentially getting your mind working about travel plans. So then at the end of the month, we've got 2 more things left. On April 29th, Pluto does station retrograde, and that's going to be in the 4th house. So Pluto's been here, you guys, since 2008. You are no stranger to having Pluto retrogrades in the 4th house of home, family, roots, ancestry, your own emotional inner world, and everything like that, parents. But we need to take into consideration that it is at the very last degrees of Capricorn. So this is like energy of a crisis of mastery, like a need to take in the lessons and actually transform from the lessons. And for anybody that is a Libra rising, between 26 and 28 degrees, your ascendant is at those points. This is going to specifically be working with you on a very personal level, because it's in square to your ascendant. So there could be some significant challenges, some things that are working at almost seem as if they're working at cross purposes relative to your emotional private world and who you are as a person out in the world. This could very well have to do with traumas and everything, since it could have to do with family trauma, family karma, ancestry, issues with parents, things going on in the home environment, your place of living, that could somehow be a little bit more stressful during this time period. It's an inner reworking of your relationship to these types of dynamics, which is asking you to transform. And a lot of times this energy will happen on a very subtle level. We won't even notice it, but just be aware that this is going to be happening. Pluto retrogrades only once per year, and it's half the year. So half the year it's in retrograde and half the year it's not. So now we're moving into the period of retrograde, which is April to October. Okay. So just keep an eye out for that, especially if you are a 26 to 28 degree ascendant. Okay. Finally, we've got that much anticipated, beautiful, mind you, Taurus partial solar eclipse in your 8th house. I love this. So I feel like if there have been any issues with joint financial ventures, debt, obligations to other people that can seem a little weighty or challenging, if you've been trying to do some shadow work, really working through some things, this could be amazing energy. Ultimately, the North Node is what makes an eclipse, right? We've got to have a solar eclipse, sun and the moon together with the North Node. And this is very fated, karmic, and destined energy. So this could help bring a resolution to maybe some challenging circumstances that you've been moving through. This resolution could play out immediately, or for most of us, it'll play out like eclipses do over the span of the next 6 months. It's a story that continuously unfolds relative to these topics. Now, what's really cool about this is the eclipse is in Taurus. Taurus is ruled by, Taurus and Libra are both ruled by Venus. It's your chart ruler as well as the ruler of this eclipse. So this becomes more prominent for you, okay? Becomes more prominent for who you are, the way you operate in relationships. There's big lessons to be learned here from previous experiences that you've been through. This Venus, during the time of this eclipse, is going to be together with Jupiter, which is a planet of luck, abundance, and opportunity, and making a really nice aspect to the eclipse in general in your 6th house of work, health, daily routines. And also, I mean, I think that this house has an association with law, legality, mitigation, fighting in court, those kinds of things too. So if that's you, if you've been going through something like this, it could really help to bring a resolution to that energy. Ultimately, it's going to bring in something new, okay? So maybe you get some help monetarily from an outside source or something like that. Or maybe you're really able to heal and transform some part of your life. For a lot of you, this will feel like a very big transformation, death and rebirth cycle that you're moving through until 2023, because this is literally the house of transformation. So anyways, I wish you the very, very best of luck this month, Libra. I hope you enjoyed this forecast, and I would love to hear your comments. If you like this new format, or if you resonate with any of this, leave me a comment below. Make sure to share it with anybody else that you think could significantly benefit from this. Tap the like button. It really does help the channel out so very much. I'm really grateful to have you guys here, and I am excited to follow the transits of the month with you in videos as we go along. So keep an eye out for that too. Peace and namaste, my friends.